Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered how much of the fat I see is actually dangerous to my health? Most of us think about belly fat as just an appearance issue. But what if I told you that the real danger isn't the fat you can pinch, it's the hidden fat you can't see? This fat has a name, visceral fat, and it's the type that wraps around your organs, silently raising your risk of heart disease, diabetes, and even early death. Now here's the twist. Doctors usually measure this fat with expensive scans like MRIs or DEXA machines. But what if I told you there's a simple test you can do at home with just a measuring tape that can reveal how much visceral fat you might be carrying? And even better, this free method can be as accurate as costly medical tests. Stick with me until the end, because not only will I show you step by step how to do it, but I'll also explain what your numbers really mean and how you can start reducing this hidden fat starting today. So let's start with the basics. Everybody has some visceral fat. It's normal, your body actually uses it to cushion your organs. The problem starts when we carry too much of it. That's when it becomes toxic. The gold standard for measuring visceral fat is medical imaging, MRI, CT scans, or a DEXA scan. They're accurate, but they're also expensive, time-consuming, and in some cases involve radiation exposure. Not exactly practical for most of us. That's why scientists came up with a smarter, simpler solution. Instead of trying to see the fat directly, what if you could estimate it using two easy body measurements? Here's the clever trick. Waist circumference gives you a mix of both visceral fat and subcutaneous fat, the fat under your skin. Thigh circumference mostly reflects subcutaneous fat, not visceral fat. So by comparing your waist to your thighs, researchers created a formula that estimates how much of your fat is the dangerous visceral kind. And the crazy part, in studies, this formula was just as accurate as a DEXA scan when predicting visceral fat, and even predicted risks of diabetes and heart disease. Here's how you can do it at home. Grab a flexible measuring tape, the kind used for sewing. Measure your waist, stand up straight, find the top of your hip bone and the bottom of your ribs. Place the tape midway between those 2 points, usually around your belly button. Breathe out normally, don't suck in, and record the number in centimeters. Measure your thigh. Stand with feet hip width apart. Find the crease just under your buttocks called the gluteal fold. Wrap the tape around the thickest part of your upper thigh. Again, record this in centimeters. That's it, you now have your two key numbers. Scientists then use these along with your age, gender, height, and weight to calculate your visceral fat estimate. There are online calculators that make this super easy. I'll link one below. Results and meaning. When you plug in your numbers, you'll get an estimate in square centimeters. The cutoff they use is 130 square centimeters. If you're under that, you're likely in a healthy range. If you're over, it doesn't mean you're doomed. It just means you're carrying more visceral fat than is ideal for long-term health. And here's the good news. Visceral fat is highly responsive to lifestyle changes. With the right diet and activity, you can shrink it faster than the fat you see under your skin. Now that you know how to measure it, the next question is, how do you get rid of it? Well, last week we covered the top diet strategies for reducing visceral fat foods that help turn your body into a fat-burning machine while protecting your organs. If you missed that, I'll link it right here. And in our upcoming videos, we'll dive into the best exercises, daily habits, and even sleep tips that can target visceral fat more effectively than traditional weight loss. So, if you care about living longer, healthier, and stronger, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and join me on this journey. Because now you don't just know that visceral fat is dangerous, you know exactly how to measure it at home.